Hey everybody, just broadcasting here from, reporting actually from one of my favorite parks here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It is called Crescent Lake Park. Just decided instead of, I'm always in my house and I just want to do a little bit of a change of scenery. It's just a really nice place to be at and it's really relaxing out here. So one of the things that will help you kind of in your spiritual journey or in your awakening process is to get out of your house, get out of your comfort zone, relax, replenish, and for good fresh air and being out in nature will help you definitely do that. So one of the things I want to do is just kind of get out and maybe check out new parks and stuff like that. One of the things I'd like to do in the morning is to take my dog out to different parks, and he loves it, of course, and he gets really excited. He's not here with me right now, but I just thought it might be a good change of pace other than the backgrounds in my house and stuff like that. So as you can see, there's a nice beautiful lake behind me. And the birds are out here. You can hear the kids playing in the background. It's just a really nice area to be at. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, you guys have heard me talking about this, the law of denial or the law of no, which is from the Dynamic Laws of Healing that I've been talking about by Catherine Ponder. If you get a chance to buy this book, she's got several books, but this is the one that I've been working on. And what I do is I actually just kind of read a chapter and then I process and ponder it for a while. So I read this chapter when I was on the plane to Mount Shasta last month, and so I'm just now getting to the point where I realize I've been doing this for a long time, but not to this extent. And why this is kind of an important thing is that all of us talk about manifestation or prayer and kind of the stuff like that, and to kind of create the world that we want. However, we're always wondering, well, why doesn't it happen as fast as we want it to, and all that other kind of stuff. And we always say, well, there's lessons and there's opportunities and stuff like that. But the truth is that we've got this programs inside of us, which you've heard me talk about on other videos, that are old programs. They're not just from this life, but they're also from past lives and past experiences and stuff like that. And I'm going to get deeper into how that works out at another time. But let's just put it this way. You have like millions and millions of lives and aspects of yourself that are living all simultaneously at the same time. Now, people will say, well, what do you mean? How is it simultaneously? Well, because there is no true past lives. When you really think about the fact that what you think about in quantum physics, they talk about, or in the multi-worlds theory, they talk about the fact that there is more than one of you or more than one worlds happening at any given time. And when you really think about it, in the spiritual realm, there is no time and space. So really, time is not linear. It is in this three-dimensional world, but it is not in the spiritual realm. So that's a whole topic for another discussion. However, what I'm getting at here is that if you really think about your existence right now and where you're at right now, then what that means is that you're the epicenter of this particular, of your soul's existence. So being that epicenter, you're the one that has all these lessons and everything else that come in. And really what it's not really lessons, but when you think about the karma, it's cause and effect. So when we think about cause and effect, as you think something, it responds to it, and it responds tenfold. As you put out there, it responds tenfold. So you could have a life happening in like 1820 or in Egypt or Atlantis, and that is technically the decisions you're making right then are happening right now. So some things that I wanted to put up in here is I'm reading just a couple notes I wrote here from the Tao. It's probably in like 2014, and so I got some things here from the Tao and also from this Catherine Ponder book, The Dynamic Laws of Healing. So one of the things it says from the Tao, it says, empty your mind of all thoughts, let your heart be at peace, and watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. So in other words, one of the things that happens is that we go out and we watch other people living and stuff like that, and we make judgments about them, and we say, well, I wouldn't do it that way, and that kind of stuff. But if you're making that kind of judgment and you're looking at them and saying, well, I don't know if I would live my life like that, I wouldn't do that, I would have done it this way, or they should have done it this way. I've said this in other videos, but I really want you to really start thinking about the fact that you're starting to now to negotiate a contract with that person to get bought into their dramas. Because as soon as you start judging them and pointing a finger at them, basically what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I need to get involved in your drama. I need to try to control your life. And what you're doing is that you're not pruning your own garden. You're not taking care of what's going on inside of yourself. So remember this, empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. So, meaning they're coming back to source. And so, now, you want to ponder these things, these words that I'm giving, and ponder them in your heart. Because in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6, he comes in and says, He has made us competent as ministers of a new covenant, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. Meaning, all these books and all these spiritual texts that we're reading and stuff like that, most of us want to take them literally by the word, but they come in the Spirit. So you want to take them into your heart, and you want to ponder them and contemplate them and go with the essence of the Spirit of how your energy or your heart takes you. Your soul and your inner voice will take you in the direction that it needs to go in. So those are just some things. Now, going into the law of no, or the dynamic laws of healing and the law of denial, basically what this is coming down to is, I was just explaining to you earlier, and my friend Justin will get into, my business partner will get into this more when he talks about law. But really, when I think about this, let's say that you and I are engaging in a conversation, and let's say that I started throwing on all my negativity and stuff like that. You have the right then to deny inside of yourself that negativity. So in other words, you can say, hey, that's not what I'm going to get into, that's not my thing, and you can deny that quote unquote contract, so to speak, because you're not going to buy into whatever this is that I'm handing out. It doesn't mean you love me any less. It doesn't mean you consider me not a good person. It just means that right in that moment in time, I'm in the middle of something that I'm not seeing. I'm in my darkness, or I'm having tunnel vision. I'm not in an awake state when it comes to whatever I'm experiencing, that kind of stuff. And you can tell me the truth, and maybe that'll help me. However, if I'm not unwilling to look at it, don't get pulled into it. In other words, speak your truth, let it go, move on. And that's what happens. A lot of times we codependently get involved and grasp on, and we get bought into this contract of come here and feel miserable with me, so to speak. So what the dynamic law of no says is that all these programs and all these things and all these thoughts that are given to you, you have the right to say no to. And they're programs from our parents, our past lives, and everything else. Well, you can start to change that. Your thoughts control your body and your circumstance. So everything that's happening in your life right now, everything that you're experiencing is happening as a result of how you've thought. Why? Because your thoughts create. Energy follows intentions. Now, what is your intentions? So those are things that you want to start thinking about. So as a man thinks in his mind, so he is in his body. This is from the Buddha. And so there's also a story here that Catherine Ponder talks about. She goes, two men, one healthy, one not healthy. They both get letters from their doctors. The one that was healthy got the letter that was supposed to go to the one that wasn't healthy, and the one that was not healthy got the letter that was supposed to go to the healthy doctor, or the healthy patient. So the healthy patient that got the letter for the unhealthy patient, basically the letter said that you're not going to live very much longer, and you might live your life to the fullest and stuff like that. So that's exactly what he did. And even though he was very healthy, he ended up dying. And then the unhealthy one, it said you're in great shape and enjoy your life and all that kind of stuff. And so what did he do? He went out and he started enjoying his life as if nothing was bad. Well, what is this? This book was written in the 60s. So things like Bruce Lipton hadn't come out and to talk about the placebo effect and all the experiments he's done. They knew about the placebo effect before then, but those things hadn't come into the mainstream at the point as yet. So, what did this person do? This is a basic definition of the placebo effect, where they had changed their circumstances based on one was healthy and he ended up not being healthy as a result of what? His thoughts. He thought he was going to die, so he went out with that thought to live the last days of his life and do whatever it is he wanted to. So he died and he got sick and stuff like that. So it's really just comes down to there's story after story after story of people healing themselves of their cancer and their illnesses. Why? Because of their thoughts. They are changing the circumstances in their life because they're going out and eating better. They're going out and changing the circumstances of the life, and they're getting healthier. They're attracting abundance in our life, and it's because they're changing these programs within side of ourselves. So we have wreaked havoc on our body and our health and our lives based on our thoughts of disparity, limitation, and saying that we are not enough. So we could say one of these things, one of the affirmations I see in here that I really thought was powerful. It says, evil has no life, substance, or intelligence of itself. It is conjured up by the limited beliefs of man. Evil is a form of darkness that flees in the presence of light and enlightenment. So as you get more enlightened, as you learn more truth, as you start to become more empowered, evil has to run from that. It's like there's a phrase that I've now heard twice. I think I've mentioned in another video. Heard the first time in 2012 in a healers gathering out in the Navajo Reservation in Arizona, and I heard it again at the Eclipse of Disclosure out in Mount Shasta. And the phrase is this: when the lights come on, the cockroaches run. And why is that so powerful? Because when truth starts to come in, then the darkness has to run backwards. And what is darkness? It's an area that we can't see, that we get scared of, so it brings in our fear, and so false evidence appearing real. So these are things that we want to stop and really start thinking about to ourselves, and we want to start denying those fears. And as those subconscious things start coming up in our darkness, coming out, those beach balls start popping up, we want to take a look at them. So enlightenment comes as you deny any evil condition. So what is evil? It's the opposite of living. So it isn't some devil or some horrible person. There's evil, so to speak, but the evil people that are doing bad things and horrible things in the world is because they are living in darkness, and they've convinced themselves that they're sociopaths, that they can't understand right and wrong. They can't understand that harming people or hurting people is not a good thing. They don't understand that concept. So that also means that they don't have a light within them, a truth that's with them, to understand that love and compassion and harming other people is not a good thing. And so, when you really think about it, they live in eternal darkness. So, and what is darkness? It is an area we can't see, that fear comes up, and we're not illuminated in that area. So what is enlightenment? It's the end of pain and suffering. So what is pain? Pay attention to the word now. So if you're not in enlightenment in a certain area, and you could be very illuminated in areas of your life, and then in other areas of your life you can't. One of the things that we've been talking about in some of the calls that I've been on is that your awakening process is a journey. So that journey happens over a period of time. So you might have like a huge awakening process, and then something else happens, and you're not necessarily you start to fall back into that darkness, and your journey keeps it kind of as like this, pendulum. It swings this way sometimes, and it swings this way, and sometimes it comes at the center. So experiences in your life are what causes that. So it's just something to be taken into consideration. As you deny evil or mistaken beliefs, you withdraw from your mind's negative beliefs and emotions that have played such havoc on your health and body. So let's deny those negative parts of your life, so you can start having that awakened, joyful, happy life. And so that'll start to change things in your life. Deny means to withhold, erase, eliminate, dissolve, withdraw. It also means to declare not to be true in that which appears to be true. So there's a lot of things that you've been told something is true through your being raised up. We were told that the government is going to be taking care of us and loves us and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is that it's not really taking care of us. It's actually trying to control us. And so, it's been set up to control you and to control the masses. And that's not what a free being is. Even though our Constitution says all men are created equal, it's not necessarily fulfilling that, because there are people in place that don't want you to be free. They want you to live in darkness. They want you to live in the fact that they want you to feel limited and not understand the unlimited being that you are. So what are you doing when you are denying them power? Well, the pains and thoughts that you have, you're denying those, and then you're bringing your body back into harmony and bringing yourself into a place of balance in your life. So when you think about the 7 chakra systems, 7 energy systems, those are the journey through your soul. So as you open those up, that's going through your darkness and opening up, like Ananda's trip into the underworld through the 7 gates. She has to let go of her pieces of jewelry, but basically in the things that make her this beautiful princess or goddess. And then as she does that, she starts to eliminate herself, and she starts to create a more balanced life for her. So now, one of the things that people talk about is they talk about affirmations a lot. So they talk about they do positive affirmations. I'm healthy, wealthy, and wise, all that kind of stuff, and all those things are great. However, if you have got the negative ones on top of that or underneath that, it's like going and building a brand new house over an old one. It's not going to change your life. So you have to go in and you have to change those negative programs and basically deny their energy, so that they're not pushing against the positive ones that you're creating. So it's kind of like you have one foot on the gas and one foot on the on the brake in your car, you're not going to go anywhere. So it's like one of those things where I want you to push like this, out like this with your hands, and then if you bring your hands down to your side with your palms open, it's a different energy. So it's kind of like resistance, pushing up against a wall, or you're going to go into flow. So you're allowing all those experiences you don't want to look at, you're allowing those to come in so you can let them go, and you're also going into allowing the abundance to come in as well. So you're changing and letting go of the old programs, and then you're allowing the new ones to come in. So so what's happening is that as you continue to resist and you have those negative programs there, you're still feeding those negative programs by creating what is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you're going out and wanting things to change, doing your positive affirmations, and when they're not things aren't changing, then you go, oh well, that didn't work, and then you get really frustrated with yourself. So it's something that you really take in consideration. So basically that's kind of what I wanted to jump into. So one of the things that I'm going to add on here is a quote here from page 41 of the book. It says, "Take with you words and return them unto Jehovah. Say unto him, take away all iniquity or denial and accept that which is good." Affirmation. This is from Hosea chapter 14, verse 2. "And let your speech be yes, yes, yes to all the positives, and nay, nay, nay in the to deny." That's in Matthew chapter 5, verse 37. The cross, hold on, I would just say, well, anyways, when they talk about Jehovah, now I'm not a big person using that name, but what the point is you're putting in this higher power, which is the higher aspects of yourself, and then you're saying, I trust, because the three-dimensional mind can't necessarily see everything unless it falls down into its superconscious mind. And then when you get into a meditation, you get the superconscious mind, and it brings in wisdom that you might not have seen before. So as you're allowing yourself to do the yes, 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 and nay, 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 you also want to jump down into yourself. So as negative thoughts come up, you say no, 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 and you say that's not what I want. And then you say yes, yes, yes to the thoughts that say this is what I want. So basically what you're saying is, universe, attract this to me, bring this to me the way I do want it. But you're also saying to the programs that are pushing the resistance, you're saying, no, I don't serve you anymore, and I'm not going to feed you anymore. So those will help you change some of your thoughts as well. So I think that's actually all the notes that I brought into here. I will So the last thing I'll leave you with here is, this is from the Tao as well. If you don't realize the source is you and you are the source, if you still think of yourself as separate from source, then you're always going to be working with limitations. But if you see yourselves, even though in your three-dimensional mind you might not be able to fully see it, if you understand that I am not only God, but I am source, I am also a part of source, and source was within me and with also out of me, so it's all around me and within me, then you can start to change your world. So what you're doing is, when you say that, you start allowing source to flow through you and work through you, and you become a conduit for source. You're serving it, you're serving yourself, and you're serving others, and it's a constant flow that happens. So understand that, and that's a hard one for people to get to grasp onto, because we've been programmed to say we are not that. So, but if you go into a park and you start walking up to these trees and saying, I am that, I am, this is all from the Moses Code, the movie, but it's very true. I am that, I am. If you see something that you want that's abundant, start saying, I am that, I am. Or start saying, hey, that or better. I want that divinely given, those kind of things. And what happens is it starts igniting energy to work in your favor. And remember, the universe is here plotting to do you good. And I'm going to leave you with that. Peace. Everybody, love you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.